Doors are already opening for trade with Cuba. Engage Cuba, the leading coalition working to end the trade embargo with the island nation, has announced Alabama-based tractor company Cleber LLC will join the group's business council. Joining us from the RFD-TV Washington, D.C. News Bureau is Engage Cuba's senior policy advisor, Leanne Evans. Thank you for joining us, Ms. Evans.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course. We're glad you're with us. Now, how will Cleber LLC join the Engage Cuba Business Council, and how's this going to help the effort to end the travel and trade embargo on Cuba?
So we're thrilled, first of all, to have Cleber involved. At Engage Cuba, our mission is to end the trade and travel ban on Cuba, which we and the majority of the American people see as a failed policy. So members of our business council are those companies who have an interest in investing in Cuba and engaging with Cuba, and who are willing to come out and support publicly of our efforts to end the embargo. So having Cleber on board is really exciting because we see them as a pioneer. They're going to be the first company, the first U.S. company to build a factory in Cuba since 1959. They're going to be manufacturing tractors there to be used on the Cuban agricultural system, and then hopefully eventually for export as well. But they're important not only because they're a symbol of this effort and this pioneering spirit of getting into Cuba, but also because of the actions that they're taking, which are practical and going to have an impact and help the Cuban people.
Can you explain how Cleber actually got involved with the council?
Right, so we obviously have a lot of shared interests with Cleber. They have a stated goal of helping Cuba become a part of the global economy as well. And in order to do that, it's necessary to lift the U.S. embargo on the island, which is what we're trying to do. So we were able to get connected with them, and it's sort of a very, a happy partnership and an obvious partnership in terms of working together. And we're, supportive of their efforts. They're coincidentally also based in Alabama, which is the state that we're engaging with. And is a state that's already engaged with Cuba through the Port of Mobile. They're exporting poultry still. And Commissioner McMillan of Alabama, the Commissioner of Agriculture, has been engaging with Cuba, and the Alabama Department of Agriculture is engaged. So, we're happy to have them involved. And there's, as I said, a lot of mutual interest that we have with Cleber.
And moving forward, what's next on the horizon?
Well, for Engage Cuba, we're continuing our state outreach. So we are going to be setting up a state council in Alabama, similar to what we've done in other states like Louisiana and Minnesota, Ohio and Tennessee. So we're going to be doing that in Alabama as well, and getting different interests and entities engaged, for lack of a better term, in our efforts. And those who see a benefit to ending the embargo and changing policy, and who are hopefully going to be talking more about Cuba, engaging with their members of Congress, so that the members see that their constituents have an interest in changing this policy, because at the end of the day, it's going to take congressional action. And for our agricultural groups and for companies like Cleber who want to invest in Cuba, who want to get involved, it's going to be necessary to make these changes. So that's what we're doing at Engage Cuba, and we're really happy to be partnering with Cleber in that effort.
All right, thank you so much. Engage Cuba Senior Policy Advisor Leanne Evans.
Thank you.